I'll take a koozie. Why not? A koozie, ciao bella.
Mi scusi.
Mi koozie, ciao bella. Oh shit, arrivederci.
It's behind there. We're the three guys from Knowhere. We're going to talk about Scott Pilgrim and make you think about movies and stuff. So yeah, we're going to talk about fucking Scott Pilgrim versus the world tonight. Today. Why is it today?
Either, I mean, it's either or.
Whichever.
You know, summer
They don't even know.
solstice, there's a threshold there
There's a
between
threshold.
day and night.
It was a long as fuck day. We're in the summer.
It
And shit
is,
goes long.
it is.
These people
yeah.
don't even know what time we're doing this.
They don't.
No.
They don't.
And-
And they don't have to. That's the greatest part about it.
And coming off this quirky, weird as fuck conversation, that's what Scott Pilgrim is about. It's quirky ass, weird people doing quirky ass weird things.
You know, Scott Pilgrim, really what it is it's an indie movie based on an indie comic with a not so indie budget, not starring Ellen Page.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
right at that time.
Right at that time.
You know, right at that time. Elliot Page, sorry to be correct now.
But at that time it was
But at that time it was Ellen Page, so...
Much love.
Yes, but, you know, this movie, I don't know, I have such mixed feelings about it.
Interesting.
It's so fun, and it's really entertaining. I think there's some really good jokes in it. You know, some good cameos. It's great to see Captain America in this as Lee Lucas.
Captain America, Superman.
Then we got, that's what I was
Captain
going to say.
Marvel.
Then we have Brandon Ruth as Todd, and you know his super vegan powers,
Also,
which I think is great.
Punisher.
Oh, that's true. That's right. Thomas Jane, he
Right.
comes in to get him. That's great. That's
Take
right.
his fucking
That's who it was.
Wow.
That's who it was. But yeah, I mean, and then again, Captain Marvel. It's a fun movie. There's a lot of things in this that I just kind of find funny. I don't know if it's like the fact that it's supposed to be like a Canadian movie or something that this hasn't been like canceled on cancel culture. You know, obviously they have Patel, the first of the 7 X's, come in and you know, he's got his I got fire, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how is this?
That's mildly racist.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But other than that, I mean, like, realistically, the movie's fun. The cinematography is great, albeit it came out after, you know, Sin City and other movies that kind of introduced that concept of bringing, like, a comic book aspect to cinematography-wise.
Or even the original Hulk.
That's true as well. Yeah, that have kind of played on that before. But again, it was a fun movie. There was some things that I were tired about, but you know, I don't know. I just want to hear what you guys think about it before we even get into those things.
I looked at an article today that compared it to, it's like an action movie. I mean, it's really actually cool fight scenes. They're really well choreographed, and then you add in the CG of the comic book, video gaming type of elements, and it makes it really cool. But just strip all that away, the fight scenes are really cool. It's kind of an action flick. And this article was talking about it as an action flick 10 years later, so this article came out last year, and I didn't realize it opened the same weekend as Expendables, and it got its fucking ass kicked. It was fifth in the box office, didn't do well. It's more of a cult classic now than it was a huge success at the time, necessarily.
Let's be honest. People are going to see Expendables. We're not going to see Scott Pilgrim.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
but it lost also
to quote James Gunn. Never mind, I won't quote James Gunn. But you know what I'm saying. He saw Expendables, and the guy in the back seat, he wanted to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
You know.
So, I mean, I point this out. I point this out because this is an older movie. This is the oldest title that we've talked about yet, and we're looking back on it with nostalgia. Like, it's a cult classic now. It's got a lot of following now. Didn't do well at the time, but as we get into it, well, I'm going to let you riff on this, but I want to talk about that time period, that moment in history, who the fuck these characters were, why those characters were able to exist at that time, that kind of emo, these punky kids, you know. I don't care if it took place in Canada, I knew fucking all of those guys. I hung out with kids like that. So go ahead. I don't want to hear what you
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, I couldn't tell you.
Shocking.
I know for sure. Well, I mean, dude,
I'm honestly shocked.
My daughter loves this movie too, and so I've watched it about 9 times in the past 3 weeks because I don't know if you have small children. They like to run shit into the ground.
And that's why we're doing this episode.
Yeah. It's sort of part of the reason. It just sort of kind of came up because of that. But no, I actually love this movie. It's endlessly entertaining. It's endlessly quotable. You know, the fight, like you said, the fight scenes are amazing. It's also just a great, sweet little love story. A nice little sweet, awkward love story amongst people in their mid-20s who were sort of a little bit lost, as many of us in our 20s were.
It's funny. I saw one thing today that said it likened it to a rom-com, and then another thing today that starts out immediately calling Scott Pilgrim the enemy. He's actually a villain with a redemption arc.
100%. Like that's actually accurate. I mean, even the manga, it was a manga. It wasn't really a comic. It was a manga.
Yeah,
the manga. He's sort of painted,
which is a graphic novel.
But okay, fine,
which is
whatever.
What I said.
No, it's Afghanistan animation.
no, I get that. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, like, it was a manga. Mm-hmm. He's really painted as, I don't want to say the villain, but he's definitely an unlikable hero.
He's a dirtbag 22-year-old.
Yeah,
we all were.
Well, I mean,
they pointed it out in the movie. Like his sister points out in the movie. Anna Kendrick points out, like, that thing with this chick, that thing with this chick.
Yeah,
that thing actually. I'll be positive who does it. But,
yeah,
and his responses actually are really good too, because they show the mind of that guy. He's like, oh, that was a misunderstanding. Oh no, we're totally cool now.
Yeah, the emotional immaturity.
Total emotional immaturity and no accountability or responsibility for one's actions.
I mean, let's not mention the fact that he starts off obviously dating a high schooler.
Yeah.
And he himself is in his 20s.
Right off the bat.
I don't know the statutory laws in Canada, but again, because this movie is based in Canada, does it get a little bit of outside of that cancel culture because of that? Like,
they're nice. They'll give you a donut.
There's some things that I just found really funny, kind of revisiting this because I haven't seen it in a long time. That I just thought were really funny. Some really awkward scenes. Some things that I'm just like, I can't believe that like passed even at that time.
Yeah. Homophobic.
But
I don't think it's homophobic. I think it's actually quite the opposite. The weird thing about it,
not homophobic necessarily, but it pokes fun at the gays.
Well, no, it pokes fun. But anyway, the thing is that Wallace can turn any straight man.
Yes,
that's the joke. That's the
hilarious.
joke. It's not. I don't think it's homophobic at all. And I don't think it's anything bad about homosexuals or trans people or whatever. But it's just the joke that he can turn any straight man literally just having a simple conversation with him.
The homophobia part, actually, I was thinking less of Wallace and more about the chick.
And Scott also says, I don't want you to gay up the place.
Yeah, and
things like that, which are
they make it awkward. Ramona's sexy phase. Yeah. And they take agency out of homosexuality and make it more of a thing somebody can just do in a phase and be sexy.
I get that.
Fucking chicks do.
I do get that, but I
don't think it's overtly bad. It's just today it would have a harder time.
Because again, let's be fair. Women have a percentage-wise more chance of like having a lesbian experience, and for being that age, like mid 20s or early 20s, whatever it is.
And especially an outcast.
And just a nerd, whatever, like just a very awkward person. And finding out the chick he's dating, like, experienced that, like, had more experience in that. Because, this dudes don't really have that gay phase a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And that's not saying anything bad about trying new things or trying it. It's not saying that at all.
But let's
be clear. Let's be very clear what I'm saying here. I'm just saying women have a higher percentage of experimenting in that way.
Yeah. I want to jump into like those type of people that I knew back in the day. It was a period in time where, and I explained to you earlier, where this is the peak of emo culture, where emo started way fucking earlier. But you get now a bunch of kids who are 14, 15, or younger even, and got into emo music and the emo culture and shit that are now 22, 23, and they're the peak of...
At that time, you mean?
At that time, by 2010, they're the peak of indifference, quirkiness was cool, talking about your depression was cool, that sort of thing.
Anhedonia, just like not feeling stoked about anything.
Back when we were kids, if you were in a band... You got laid, you got money, you were the coolest fucking thing.
We didn't get money.
John can attest to that.
I'm talking like through the 70s, 80s, 90s. If you were in a band, you could play guitar, it's like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
This is a time period where people were in a band to express themselves, and they didn't see themselves as cool. The girls weren't flocking to them, though apparently this twerpy little Scott Pilgrim got a bunch of chicks.
What's surprising?
They were, but I mean...
But these are people that never saw themselves as cool, but in that way somehow were cool. They were hipsters before the hipsters as we know hipsters to be today.
Well, because
as you called him, the Williamsburg hipster that pickles shit and has a beard.
And really into craft brew.
And heard that band before you did.
Yeah.
These were those people though, and a bunch of them. Shout out to a lot of the emo bands and friends that I know that are currently in hardcore bands, emo bands, and were at the time that they always knew about the cool underground band before you did. And these are those people, and I find it fascinating, and a fascinating window into that time period and that culture.
Yeah, well, and you were kind of outside that, growing up, like or around this time.
Oh yeah.
Being a part of that. This is more. I mean, I feel where you're
8 years after I graduated high school, so I'm talking about like these. I'm fucking math. I was 28. These are like the 22-year-olds. Like I'm
graduated high school at 20.
He also has a master's degree.
Yeah. You only one out of a master's degree. I get what you're saying, but you weren't in that like crew, that clique, like of people that were like that.
No, not until later. And but most of them were out of this.
What I think it's just more of the just the way anybody feels in your early to mid 20s, where you do kind of think you're hot shit, but at the same time, you're kind of always like, I don't know exactly the right way to put this, but you're sort of always like, you're getting a little bit more in touch with your emotions because you're changing. Like everything just changed for you. You got out of school. Maybe you're going to college. Maybe you're not. But if you're going to college, it's a whole different ball game than you were in high school.
Yeah.
So you're in your
100%.
early 20s, and it's just your entire life is like just way different. Yeah, like you think you're super fucking cool, but also you have that little demon inside you, or that little bug inside you that goes, nah, you're a fucking loser. See, and you're kind of awkward. You're kind of shy. You fuck around with some girls, like or whatever you do, whatever, and.
See, I kind of disagree. I think these characters are drawing off of those people that never thought they were cool. Never at any point did they think they were badass or cool.
See, I disagree with that, and I agree more along the lines with what Jeff was saying. Is because this movie is essentially an idea of counterculture, but the thing is in the counterculture, you still form cliques, and you still form this idea of being cool. So whether or not,
I see what you're saying.
Whether or not
cool
it's
within your circle,
exactly. So it's like, there is this idea of still being that, and I think it's expressed the most in the movie is by Neil, is the
Young
singer.
Neil?
No, not Young Neil.
That's Steven Stills.
Who's the singer of the band?
Steven Stills.
What's his name in the movie?
Steven
Stills. Okay, well, shit.
So, you don't know the fact.
I forgot. I meant to look up his actual name. But I know like everybody else.
His idea is really based off of his whole character is really based off of trying to be cool in this clique.
No, it even says like he's the talent. Like when it shows him,
he's the talent.
And, he even has the whole thing like, hey, he closed the door on Knives and goes like, is she gonna geek on us? Is she gonna geek?
And he's I want her to geek. Yeah, exactly. Kind of
retort. He also the entire fucking movie says, "Do we suck? Oh my god, we're not good."
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's
fucking G-Man is gonna be here.
That's not a retort. That's actually an agreement with what we've been saying.
Exactly. It's
no. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he thinks that they're cool.
No, but he
just really fucking wants
the best part is when when Crash and the boys are playing and he's in the background and it's just the subtitles of he's screaming at Scott.
Yeah.
Scott, why are you just standing there? You're freaking me out.
Yeah.
It's the best fucking shit.
And it really is this idea again of them trying to be like, they're in this counterculture, so they want to be big, but they also don't want to be. It's still a clique, and so you still want to be big within that counterculture. And I think this, like, really as a movie, I think this expresses the ideas of the time very well.
Absolutely,
like it really does do justice to like what it was like in that time to be in like the music scene of any point.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like you're punk scene,
you could be punk, indie, didn't matter. It was
even like myself, not having ever played in a band.
Yeah.
Just that being kind of around cool people, wanting to be those cool people, wanting to be around cooler people.
And the funniest thing about it is you could be that guy in that scene, but you're nobody to anybody else that's not a part of that scene. If nobody's a part of that scene, you're nobody. But if you're a part of that scene, you might be somebody in a small group of friends.
And even telling on that is another great Steven Stills line. She knows we suck. She's got to go.
Yeah, exactly. When they're at the bar. Yeah.
So Scott's sort of a dick. He's a bit of an asshole. But you love him, because again, we've all been there. We've all been in our early 20s, just dicking around with people and not really giving a shit. And
but it's less about not giving a shit. It's not even knowing to give a shit.
Exactly. Like not
you're young,
knowing
naive,
what you're doing.
Totally fucking emotionally immature, intellectually immature.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting character, and again, my take on it obviously is going to be my typical thing with Seth Rogen, in the fact that Michael Cera's pretty much a one-dimensional actor. In the sense of, am I kind of high? Am I kind of not high? I don't know if I'm going to be high today when I'm filming this movie.
That's not exactly his thing, but
well, it's not Michael Cera's thing. It's Seth Rogen's
big Seth Rogen thing.
Yes, but that's Michael Cera.
Apparently, you really don't like Seth Rogen.
In this movie, is kind of the same. I mean, he is that was very much like the role that Hollywood gave him, but he did play it very well. And I think that in this movie, he kind of maybe explored a little bit more of like his capabilities of an actor, and so I do think his character was done well. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this is an entertaining movie. And that's what I would say it is. I really think the characters that stuck out to me the most, like I really liked Knives. I thought she was great. She's like super eccentric. She
steals the scene every time.
They do kind of make her a little, whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like she's a little too much of this and a little bit too much of this.
Exactly say it.
But her character has some really good scenes, and I think like she has some really good impact on the movie as far as like you said, like when she comes in, she does really steal the scene, and so I think it's a
too
great
Asian
to the character.
You guys think they make her too Asian?
I didn't say it.
Is that what you guys think?
I didn't say it.
I didn't say that.
So when she colors her hair, that whole scene is very anime manga kind of Sailor Moony. And she goes, oh my god!
No, it's more like
they literally did like the emoji face.
The emoji, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But so, and then there's characters like Ramona who I thought was done really well. It's weird that I think that actress, like I don't know her name, but
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I love her.
So the only other movies that I know her in was, and this was just brought to my attention because
she was in the Suicide.
She was in Suicide Squad, or not, Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
But then she was also in Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm kind of surprised that her career didn't go better, especially in indie movies.
She's been in a bunch of other things we've just never seen.
Gemini Man.
Okay, so things that I haven't seen. So, but I thought she did a really good job.
That was actually pretty fucking good.
Really good.
I love her. I don't know what it is. I've just always found her super adorable, and it's part of it. It's part of it's from this movie. I mean, it's just that punky aesthetic and kind of that.
See, like I was telling you earlier, the hair totally bothers me.
Yeah, I love it. I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. But also, like you brought up earlier, we have fucking Captain America, fucking Superman, and Captain Marvel.
They're hybrid.
All in the same movie. And, I mean, Chris Evans. Like, come on.
I mean, it's so funny to think about, like...
He's beat by...
What's his character's name?
What's his name?
It's Lucas Lee. But I'll get it right one of these days. But yeah, I thought his character was great. It's so funny to think about Chris Evans as an actor, to really watch him develop from these roles, because he was in Not Another Teen Movie, which I thought he was great in as, which is kind of, he took that character and brought it into this movie as well. Basically this like really douche, but he's such a fantastic actor, and in this movie, like I just love like certain scenes with him. When Scott like, oh, you don't know what the Evil X is about? All right, it's cool, brother. Boom! Like I love like just little scenes like that, and I just thought it was so great, and he does such a good job. And then again, like you said, I mean Brandon Routh, they brought him in, and you're thinking Superman, and it's so weird to see him as like literally being Scott Pilgrim, but like ripped. You know what I mean? And then he gets like this Super Saiyan thing going on, and it's just really it's really fun. Like I really enjoyed those.
And with
characters.
both of those two X's, I love that Scott Pilgrim beats him by tricking him with the hey, can you do a thingy?
Let's save the fights. Let's save the juice for the fights.
We don't even have to fucking rip the entire fights. I just love those two kind of almost vulnerable Michael Cera moments, like, but cunning. Can you do a thingy? He knows what he's doing. And then the fucking switching the lot, and then no, I had the half and half in this one, but I thought really hard about
he calls him
my mind's eye or whatever.
Yeah, bro chief.
He calls him bro chief.
I thought I fucking made that up.
Another one, Wallace. Fucking Wallace is amazing.
Oh, best Kieran Culkin role ever. Igby Goes Down sucked.
Oh, you're so wrong, dude. I love Igby Goes Down.
I haven't seen him in a lot of roles, but
he's been in more than you think, because there's the other Culkin whose name I can never remember.
That's Macaulay.
No, not Macaulay. No, there's another Culkin. The one in Scream 4. He did Mayhem, the movie about Mayhem. I don't know.
Oh, Rory McCulkin.
Rory, yeah. Him and Kieran sort of look alike, and so you kind of like, you're fucking you dick. You had to do that to me, didn't you? Whatever, fine. But the other Culkin, who like did the movie about Mayhem, did Scream 4, a couple other things. They look so similar that you kind of mix them up. But I always know Kieran because I've loved Igby Goes Down forever, and his character in this is just amazing. His little one-liners and his little his little quips. I mean, like I said earlier, like it's just such
he's
a
tool.
He's such a it's such a quotable movie, and so many of those lines are from Kieran. Like you just get like, you have to break up with your fake girlfriend now.
Yeah. I love the.
Oh, you're afraid of me?
I love the scene.
Oh, you're afraid of me getting on the place.
I love the scene how when he tells Scott that he's going to tell his sister, and then he's like, as he's falling asleep with the phone, and he gets the call, and she's like, hey. Like, and he's like, how did he even do that? He's like passed out.
They totally set that up, but the first time he does it, like, oh, don't tell anybody. You know me.
Yeah.
And it full on said, and he says it like 5 times. It full on said something. We now know you. You're going to tell his sister.
Or when Knives.
That's clever fucking dialogue.
When Knives asked, "Do you want to game in my class? Does he wear glasses?"
Yeah.
Or just another quick fucking awesome Wallace line. Hey guys, it's not a race. This song goes out to the jerk up top who keeps yelling at us.
It's called You Suck and I want you to die.
I love this one.
So yeah, I mean, I thought all those characters were good. I personally am not a huge fan of Gideon. Like, I've never really been a fan of Jason Schwartzman. So, like, that was a character that I really
he's
didn't
funny,
enjoy.
He's all right. I feel like he's got a little bit of zeitgeist hype around him.
I do too.
I absolutely agree with
that. I absolutely agree with that.
Hold the fucking phone.
Because he was the original, like, hipster before it was hipsters, and it's like, oh, to make this movie a relevant hipster movie, we need to bring in the original hipster.
These are OR scrubs. OR thing. And that made his fucking career. Right?
Yeah.
One line.
You had to steal it from me.
That one line.
I had to steal it from you.
I saw into your mind's eye.
Or whatever. Alright, whatever. I mean, fine, I get it, but I mean, all those Wes Anderson films are like amazing, and I love them, and I love Jason Schwartzman.
We're not. I just don't think he is as much.
He's not a great actor.
As much of a thing, or it's not even acting. It's this weird niche zeitgeisty fucking.
Yeah,
he's cool because he's not cool, but he is.
Yeah, but he also played that role. He also played that role of Gideon really well, but of being like that sort of. And I'll be honest, I've been that person. Sort of jerky. Hey, I'm fucking big, and
big in this.
No,
but being that guy who like thinks they're fucking hot shit and like you can lord over someone. Anyway,
no, yeah, and that makes sense. And but I also feel like, again, what are they bringing him in then, to play himself? Because I really think that's kind of himself. Well, I mean, I think that's kind of Jason Schwartzman's kind of his like aura that he puts out, is this like, I was the first.
I don't know. He was great.
I was the first indie actor. I was the first.
But he was not the first indie actor.
Well, obviously he wasn't, but he was the first indie actor. He was the biggest indie actor of the modern age of indie films, I would say.
We've bashed Schwartzman enough.
Anyone in this universe. Or
any other evil X's that we need to touch on?
Well, no, let's get into the fights.
I think we should get into the fights.
Well, now we'll get into the fights.
I think we should get into the fights, realistically. Yeah, I mean...
Well, I'll just go fuck myself.
Go for it, though.
Round one.
You
Patel.
We're talking about how much you like the fight scenes more than we obviously touched on that. So let's get your opinion on, like, what made these fight scenes so good? What do you think made all these fight scenes so good throughout all the X's?
I think it was mainly choreography. So the storytelling around the fight scenes and the quirkiness of them, like Patel having his demon hipster chicks, that shit's interesting. And then that like Slumdog Millionaire fucking or basically any Bollywood fucking dance number. That's fun. You have the lesbian chick fighting you with a belt, and Ramona pulls out a giant fucking sledgehammer out of her purse. That's always fucking hilarious. But so you have all those extra quirky aspects, and it's video gamed up where literally people in Canada can't fly, but somehow they fly during their fight scene. They make it comic booky and video game, and that's fun. It's enjoyable.
Hold on. Did you just preface that people in Canada can't fly?
Well, I don't know what our viewers think.
Legally fly on planes? Or?
No, they can't fly when they punch a dude in the air like in an anime.
No,
I'm saying they fuck off.
You said you stress the fact that people in Canada can't fly.
I don't give a fuck how crazy they are.
I mean, don't you think that would be known by now?
One would think, but it's Canada.
I mean, you know what? Then I would want to be a Canadian resident, because that's clearly a power that I would like to have.
But you can't fly here from Canada.
You have to be born there.
No, that's right. That might be a thing. So
my point is they hyper over accentuate, however the fuck I want to say this. They manga-ize the fight scenes, and that's all fun and stuff. I'm saying strip all that away and look at just the fucking fight choreography. Somebody did a great job there. It's amazing how it's all put together. The kicks. I was pointing out to you that like Patel comes up, kicks him here, and comes across with a head kick, but goes over and kick. Like who the fuck thinks of that? And it was somebody with experience and a good actual fight choreographer came up with this stuff, and I think it totally played, and it shows.
Well, and the thing is too, especially with the fight with Adam Patel, like you,
Matthew Patel.
Is it Matthew Patel? Okay, days. Fuck Christ. I want to say Neil Patel because I have a friend named Neil Patel. Anyway, but there's tracing when they're doing like kicks and stuff.
I have an Indian friend. It's not racist.
No, I was trying to stop myself from saying my friend's name. But
you're on it now.
Look, we drink beer and talk about
shit. I know, so it's okay.
Shout out to Neil Patel, everybody.
Yeah. Neil Patel, this one's for you.
If you really pay attention, there is like tracing on like their kicks and stuff, like little ray tracing.
Yeah. Like the amount of force that's going into the next shot that's going to get hit.
You see those little lines, like the
in a Dragon Ball Z.
The video game aspect, the anime aspect of it. That's just really freaking cool, and it's something I noticed the first time. And it just makes it comic book.
Feel like the foot is going faster than it really, that kind of thing.
Or just gives you that force.
The intensity of it, how bad that's going to hurt when that connects.
Which I would argue,
like how much force.
I would argue is more of a comic book manga thing than just a straight up video game thing, because I think video games didn't adopt that. Look back at like old Mortal Kombat and whatever. They didn't adopt that sort of stylization until anime and stuff got more popular in America.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
With like Street Fighter,
yeah.
5 or
kind of like
those were just fucking kids.
It's like when you use like an ultimate in Street Fighter 4 or probably 3 was when they first really introduced it, where you kind of get that wind up and you're like, oh, this is like that oh shit moment. I'm about to get wrecked.
Capcom.
Like the smoke around the feed.
Yeah. And you know something's about to come. And I think that is I agree with you in this aspect. That's what I really liked about this movie was the choreography with the fighting was great. And I mean, it's funny when you're watching films, you can always see where they throw in a stunt double. And I have to throw this out there to Michael Cera. There's a lot of scenes where he's actually doing his own stunts, and it's pretty incredible. Like kudos to him for
sure.
For some of those fight sequences, because you can tell when it's not him, and then you can clearly tell when it's him. And kudos to him for like really just taking the charge to be able to like learn that choreography and really wanting to be like that involved in the movie. And I think that also kind of adds some puts this movie a little bit forward, because to see somebody really wanting to dive into that role that far. And not just be like, oh, I'm just going to be this like humorous character in the background, but I also want to be involved in the fight scenes. Like I really want to be involved in that,
And you look at the scene with Lucas Lee fucking kicks him up to the top of that castle, and he falls down through the scaffolding. I watched that today, and I'm like, there's no way that wasn't Michael Cera that went through all that shit. There's no fucking way a stunt double did that unless it was the greatest CGI. No, watch it again. He falls through it and then rolls on the concrete, and it's his fucking face, and he gets up to the camera like that. Like, it's amazing. Either that or just fucking cinematography. You guys killed it.
Bring up the Lucas Lee fight. Like that's the best part of the fight scenes in this. They're all different. They don't repeat one beat. The Lucas Lee fight, it's against the stuntman. It's like almost like fighting multiple men.
Yeah. And like they all have the same voices. I'm gonna get a coffee, guys.
And only like 2 of them look like Chris Evans at all. But yeah, and then like you said earlier, he tricks him into grinding,
doing a thingy
on the rail.
Tricks him into grinding. That's something that Karen Culkin would have done.
Hey-o. It's like 100 feet. The rail's garbage. Whoever can't do it.
But so I think that with that being said, let's just get into the end of the movie. Let's get our our reviews on this movie.
We got a couple more fights.
We didn't talk about the has-been.
But we don't have to address every fight.
We don't really, but I just wanted to
excuse. Long on Matthew Patel.
I wanted an excuse to say that term.
But I think that Matthew Patel was the best fight scene realistically in the movie, in my opinion.
I don't know though, because the has-been is a good fight scene.
Well, and with Ramona fighting her with Michael Cera was really cool.
with the the hammer space hammer that she pulls out of her purse.
Yeah,
that's awesome. The fight with the
twins
twins is sort of it's whatever.
It's a music fight with dragons and a bear.
like a Yeti.
Yeah, whatever the fuck was going on there. Who cares? It might have been a Yeti. It was Canada.
Yeah, it was Yeti.
No, they don't call it a Yeti. Whatever.
So anyway. No. When was the toilet?
Sasquatch.
Sure.
Oh,
Anyway.
Sasquatch. That's probably accurate.
But
I think that's probably
okay.
accurate.
So the end fight. The end fight is fucking incredible. Like, especially the way they did it with the one up and
then he has to fight Nega.
Yeah. He fights
Cera.
again.
Scott.
Nega Cera.
Nega Scott.
Nega Scott.
And Knives.
Well, no, he fights Knives the first time. He fights with Knives the second time.
But the whole thing being kind of a progressive boss battle, a la video game, a la anime.
Yeah.
Well, and like,
really well done.
like, especially the idea of like when he gets that one up and he goes back to the Chaos Theater and just punches out like the doormen and then like punches out or like tells them they suck or whatever it was he does. Then gets back to Gideon and then just like basically tells him off. It's like, you play video games and you get to the end boss or any boss that's fucked you up. You're like, oh wait, I figured it out. All right, now I'm just gonna go right back.
Then you go back in. No, that's true. I guess, I didn't really think about it that way, to be honest. But that is true. I mean, you have like a certain amount, depending on whatever you're playing, you have a certain amount of times to figure it out.
I've died, but I've learned this pattern.
But you kind of figure out that pattern, so you're able to go back in and you like have a little bit more confidence in that. Whatever try
he
gets that 30th try.
He gets that. Dark Souls, man.
Haven't played it, but I've heard.
Dude, got it.
I just want to restart the entire fucking level again to get there, only to be disappointed to restart the level again. My level of frustration would be breaking the controller.
Yeah, I'm never gonna.
Which would be, I'm never gonna get to that boss again.
It's my life.
It's
my life. But him actually having a redeeming arc of like realizing what he has done. Cheating on these two girls.
Yeah,
that's true.
And acknowledging it and owning up to it. Also while defeating, this butthead.
What was it? Scott Pilgrim has learned perspective or something.
No. So it was first the power of love. And then it was the power of like self or something like that. Like,
anyway,
self-worth.
Self-worth. Watch the fucking movie. I loved how they did that, and it becomes kind of introspective, and that's what. Once again, back to my whole thing is about who these characters are and what these people are. They're young fucking morons learning.
Exactly.
And
exactly. Well, I mean, and it's
very accepting of the fact that they don't know shit.
This is a good point. Actually, getting to our final monkeys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, so final monkeys on this. I'm gonna throw this out there. Initially, my concept on it, I was going to give it a much lower rating, and just out of what I remembered of it. And then I rewatched it, and I was like, you know what, this is a pretty enjoyable movie, and I'm going to give it 7 out of 12.
Ooh, 7
because,
out of 12?
Well, because of the things that I don't like about it. There's certain aspects that I don't like about it. I'm not a big...
I know, it's sort of taking us off the rails.
I'm not a big fan of Michael Cera. Already said that. Brie Larson, I think she should stick to Nissan commercials instead of acting. Wow. Other than that, I mean, the redeeming qualities of this movie are the fact that it is entertaining. The cinematography is great. Yeah. The fight scenes are great, and it does actually have some great characters, some good cameos that made it enjoyable, and that's why I'm going to give it 7 out of 12 monkeys.
All right, Brie Larson, my apologies. You are a babe, and I love you. Great, Captain Marvel. Your movie sucked, but you were good as Captain Marvel. I'll give you that. Whatever.
You had to redo an Endgame.
Right? You're right. I'm going to give this. Now I've kind of gone back and forth. I'm gonna take from you on the half monkey fun, and I'm gonna go 11 and a half monkeys.
Oh wow!
I wanted to give it a 12 because I mean I remember it, like you said, like you kind of go off what you remember and then you rewatch to do this, and I remember really loving it. It's amazing. Oh my god, this movie's dope. And then I watched it and went, holy fuck! Almost everything about this movie I love. It's enjoyable, great fight scenes, the socio-cultural aspects and shit that we've discussed. The people being who they were, those kind of individual aspects, and just over that, it's the only thing I've seen that's mashed video games, comic books, and cinema in together in this way so expertly and so cleverly.
Yeah,
it's fucking genius the way they've done some of these things, and it didn't do well at the time for fucking whatever reason. Fuck you, Expendables. I still have never seen Expendables.
Great movie.
This movie is going to stand the test of time. It's going to be around for a very long time.
I agree.
And I don't want to give it a full 12 because I want to be hitting the heartstrings for a 12. I want a fucking, like, end game is a 12. Like, it gives you everything. You laugh, you cried, you did the whole thing. But it's getting really close to that because it's innovative, it's different, and it does a bunch of things. It's fucking amazing.
I'm going to give it a straight up 12. Like, it's a hard 12.
Didn't see that one coming.
12.
I mean, I did.
Okay, here's the thing.
Hard 12.
Here's the thing. With this movie, it's the second best comic book movie ever made. I know I know there's detractors out there who they like because they wrote it the exact same time as the manga. However, it's literally the second best comic book movie.
I will throw this out there. Assaul agrees with you 100% on this.
It's also damn near the best video game movie ever made.
Okay.
Not made off a video game, but you get that video game feel, like the pee bar, or
although who pees that fast?
Right?
Actually,
okay.
He actually does. That's weird.
Yeah.
He doesn't miss a beat in the movie theater. He's like, I gotta pee, and he's back before anything fucking.
Yo, where the fuck did you go?
Yeah. The characters are great. I get that you don't like Michael Cera as an actor, but he plays that part really well as, like we said, a mid-20s person who just is so kind of caught up in their own. I don't know. I want to say self-worth or self-aggrandizing,
self-loathing at times.
Well. But both. Like like that time in your life when you are just. You think you were too fucking cool for school? I mean, even at one point, like, they go to the party, he's like, this sucks.
Oh, yeah.
You're at a party, man.
He prefaces how much he's going to say it sucks, and they're like, well, at least you'll get to say it sucks, and it cuts immediately to his That's fucking, I thought, beautifully done, because I've been to that party. I've been that guy at that party. Again, love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. The fight choreography was amazing. You had not only Superman, Captain America, Captain Marvel. You also had the Punisher as a cameo. Also Romeo from Boondock Saints 2 was also one of the vegan police.
Oh yeah, he was.
That guy's been in that ton of shit.
He's been in everything. It's just a fucking great fucking movie. Like it just makes me fucking happy. It's the soundtrack alone is like good enough. Granted, like there's no way that
Black Lips. Oh, Katrina.
Metric.
No, Black Lips. Oh, Katrina's it's in the movie, so I just wanted to shout out to
but the Clash of Demon Head, that's Metric.
That's Metric, yeah, and it's
it's listenable stuff. I mean, I actually listen to Sex Bomb on.
I have Sex Bomb on my iPod. I know that's a very old-fashioned statement.
And they mentioned Clash of Demon Head played with the Pixies. You guys are famous now. It's like, so it's that time. Also, Pixies are fucking killing
Aubrey Plaza. I love Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza, I believe it out. Amazing. Aubrey Plaza just playing herself, essentially.
Basically.
Love that.
Another reason.
And Aubrey Plaza, before Aubrey Plaza, was Aubrey Plaza playing Aubrey Plaza.
Try to say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, right? I'm amazed he got through that the first time.
that was some talent for real.
The end of my point is I fucking love this movie. It just makes me happy. It's just a great time.
Okay.
I don't know my voice cracked.
It's a great time.
Yeah. I don't know my voice cracked.
I wish I had gotten that out before you said that, before you acknowledged it.
Hey, Vinny, so that being said, we're going to wrap this podcast up. No, but that being said, we're going to wrap this podcast up, guys. We hope you really enjoyed this one. I know it was a little bit different from what we were normally doing.
We've gone a little off the rails.
Which is probably a little
bit better. This is the new
format. But if you guys enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button. If you guys disagreed with anything that we said, or if you agreed with some things that I said, Brie Larson, go ahead and leave that in the comments section. And we'll be back with you guys probably in the next couple coming weeks with something great. Maybe I think we're gonna do Loki if you guys want to hear our opinions on it. That being said, have a good night, you guys.
Yeah. Hey, follow us on the Instagram.
Oh yeah,
let us know what you want to do.
Hit that Instagram.